Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and today I'm going to be going over a Pokemon TCG Fantasy Worlds draft thing. There was an official one by Pokemon. I guess I'll just quickly say what it is, and that is a thing where you choose cards that you think are going to do well at a tournament or like just in general, and then you get points based on how like the cards do, right? So, and there is 9 of us, and then we're going in a snake draft, so the picks go like this. This person takes it, Mr. Martian, then I Uncommon False Arc V2, so on and so forth until it reaches me. I get the ninth pick, then I also get the 10th pick. It goes back and forth down like this. So yeah, anyways. And then you get your cards, and based on how they do, you get points, and whoever has the most points wins. It's that simple. You can only take cards. You can't like take someone else's card, and there aren't like trades. Oh, I misspelled this. There we go. And so then there's also scoring, which works as follows. If you get for each copy of a card in the first place stack, you get 16 points. For the second place stack, it's 8. Third through fourth, you get 4 per copy. Fifth through eighth, you get 2, and ninth through 16th, you get 1. So there's the same number of cards, or essentially points going around in each of the like all the rounds except for the first place round. So getting the first place stack is worth a bunch of points. I mean, it's the world champion, right? So this is also only Masters division that we're taking a look at. I don't really know where to see the juniors and seniors like results. I mean, I can kind of know where to find the top 8, but not the top 16. Anyways, yeah, that's about it. I feel like I'm trying to think. You can pick any type of card as well. You can pick a trainer, a Pokemon, or energy, and you can mix and match. And yeah, this is going to be really fun. And I definitely am interested in seeing what the world's meta is going to be like. But yeah, let's just hop right in. And I'm going to break this video into 3 more parts. There's the pre-draft part, there is the post-draft part, and the post-worlds part where I reveal the winner. So make sure you stick till the end to see who actually ends up winning it. So going into the draft, I think I definitely want, trainers. They're definitely really good. Things like, so this is the meta, by the way. This is the Twilight Masquerade meta, not the Shredded Fable meta. Specifically, regarding this, I think Charizard is the best deck. I think Gardevoir is the second best deck, and I'm talking about at Worlds. I made my top 10 list. This is a little bit different. I think Regidrago would be the third best deck. I think Lugia might be the fourth best deck. I think Snorlax is better, but I don't think Snorlax is going to be played that much at the World Championships. It is a tournament with certain rules that do hurt control some, so Snorlax control, Pidgeot control probably won't be quite as good. But then also these are very good players, so they want to play decks that are generally considered more difficult. So simpler decks I think won't see as much play, but we will see. Then Reasonable Ogerpon I think will be a bit lower. I think it'll like probably be in the top 10, but I don't think it'll be in the top half of the top 10 in terms of plays, and let's say day 2, but even in the first day. Then Lost Zone, I don't know where Lost Zone is going to be. Lost Zone definitely, obviously, with if you've been paying attention to Shroud Fable, there's a Kyurem, and that is not good for Lost Zone. It doesn't like completely destroy it. So you can do that as like a deck that could be. It almost feels rogue. I mean, not like rogue. It's still probably a top 10 deck, let's be honest. But I imagine some people might. There might be someone who like is taking Comfy or taking something like that, Closes Experiment, Mirage Gate, whatever. So I could go for that. But I think in the first round, like the cards, let's just take a look at Charizard Pidgeot in the top deck. I think this might be no, yeah, we can't see that. But the second deck here, and the second. Okay, this isn't exactly what I was expecting to see. I'm trying to find a list with 3 charm. Here we go. So something like this. This is still a little weird, but the highest scoring card in this list, or the card played most copies of, is Basic Fire Energy. So basic energies I think are really good. I think Basic Fire is my favorite one. Then, which is in Charizard, also in Regidrago. So 2 of the top 3 in my opinion, though not super high counts in Regidrago. I mean, it's like 3 of, so it's okay. But drafting like say Iono is still almost as good, to be honest, but not quite as good. It's as good in Regidrago, not as good in Charizard. And then you have Grass Energy, which is played in Regidrago and played in it's played in like Ogerpon, Reasonable Ogerpon, Regidrago Ogerpon, but pretty much any Ogerpon deck, it's like Ogerpon, but played twice as many copies essentially. And then you have and then it could be put in Giratina V-Star decks as well, but those I don't really expect to see much of. Then you also have Psychic Energy playing Gardevoir. If you think Gardevoir is gonna they're just gonna win and like destroy stuff, Psychic Energy is definitely a great pick. There are a bunch of cards in Gardevoir that are played in solid counts. You have, of course, the trainers, which I think in my second pick I'm probably gonna go for a trainer, maybe my first one. I might go for a basic energy really high as well. I do think I want to get a basic energy. I'd say between psychic energy, fire, and grass, those would be nice if I can pick those up early. We'll see. But then if not, I feel like picking up really any basic energy. I feel like not picking any basic energy feels like a whiff. Dalco V-Star, not that good, but if one sneaks in the top 16, it's still worth a ton of points. So metal energy is not really the other cards in it, but the metal energy is going to be worth a lot. So metal, like I could take something like that. Even water energy, which is kind of niche, it's still played in Chimp Excalibur, Lost Zone, and it can be like it just indexed. Lightning energy is a Miraidon and Raging Bolt, so that's okay. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking those basic energies. I think in terms of supporters, I think I want to take safer supporters. Arvin is a very good supporter, but Regidraco V Star. That's not Regidraco V Star. Regidraco V Star here is not playing Arvin, right? It's playing these supporters. I think Boss's Orders to me feels like the safest supporter. Iono's pretty safe as well. Iono might be better than Boss Orders looking at these, but Boss Orders is pretty much in every deck, and I think it's the card based on analytics I like got a little while ago. This was pre-shredded Fable. Boss Orders is the card played in the most number of decks. There are definitely decks without Iono, so there aren't really decks without Boss Orders. If Lost Zone wins, it's going to play a Boss Orders. Then in terms of Pokemon, I think I want Pokemon that are played in different decks, but I think Dragon Ball EX is actually a solid pick because it will, it's obviously in Dragon Ball EX decks in Raging Draco V-Star as well as a 2 of probably. I'm not a big fan of TMS Ogerpon EX, but it's a solid card. It might be worth taking. Then something like things that kind of scary. If you saw, I was looking at the Charizard list. What I was looking for was the Charmanders. There were different Charmanders that are played, so I don't really want to go for previous evolutions unless I know that they're going to play a certain one. With Gardevoir, there's really only one Ralts and one Curly that people are taking, so that's way better than Gardevoir EX. But you could take Charmander. People could just play. There's a lot of different Charmanders. People could just not play that one. There's a normal one, but things can switch up. That is true with Ralts as well, but people are probably going to play at least 3 of the Ralts, if not 4, probably 4, but yeah, and then like Pidgeys, that this is scary. We see a Pidgey split as well. And then Ball Search of course is always good. Buddy Buddy Poffin, Ultra Ball, Nest Ball, but we only see one Nest Ball in this list. We see 2 Nest Ball, 2 Ultra Ball here. We see of course no Buddy Buddy Poffin and Regidrake V-Star because it doesn't really do anything. So Buddy Buddy Poffin might be better than Ultra Ball and Nest Ball, but I'd take those first. Super Rod seems nice. There are a bunch of cards that are cool, and that in the late rounds, I think I want to go for cards like no, maybe something like just a 2 of in a deck. You could take something like Monkey Dory will be like solid. Duskull is solid, although there are 2 different Duskulls, I believe, that are pretty much the same, which is kind of sketchy. They're essentially the same, so people would just play either one, and you could just get in a really bad spot there. And something like, Palpad is played in a lot of decks, Lost Vacuum, a Counter Catcher, things like that. So we'll see exactly what I'm going for. I could also scoop up Pokemon like Rotom V, Lumineon V, Manaphy, Pheasantipty EX in the late rounds. We'll see. We'll see exactly what's available, but I feel like some of those 1-card tech Pokemon, not necessarily always 1 card. Lumineon V can be a 2 of. The others of these are probably all 1 ofs in every deck. So obviously, Radiant Greninja, always a 1 of. Prime Catcher, Unfair Stamp, always 1 of. So a little sketchy there, but those are just my thoughts going into the draft. So the draft just ended, and these are the results right now. And this is pretty interesting. You can see the draft order here, and you can see everyone. I am the last drafter. It was completely randomized, by the way. I realize going last actually puts me at a bit of a disadvantage because it's a snake draft. So this pick, it goes this way, and then it goes this way, and then it goes this way. So I get picks. There's 9 of us, so I get picks 9, 10. I have an example. So it goes 9, 10, 27, 28, 45, 46, 63. Normally, I think it should be an even number. I didn't even realize that when it started, but it shouldn't change things too much. So just 1 extra round at the end. So here are my picks. I kind of did what I said I was going to do, where I got an energy card early. I got Fire Energy in the first round, which I think is really good. So when Luca took Grass Energy only a few picks before, which is interesting. If grass decks are going to play Grass Energy. When I say grass decks, I mean Ogerpon decks. So I assume that's what they're going for there. And Grass Energy definitely is solid. And then Uncommon Fossil picked up Psychic in the second, pretty much later on than Grass and Fire, a noticeable amount. Mr. Ryan took Lightning essentially right after. And then Darkness was taken by Sambam later. Um, you saw some special energies, Jet Energy, Mist Energy, and I think there's another special, maybe not. And then, oh yeah, Gift Energy here as well by Potato TCG. So these, Gift Energy, Mist Energy, both played in the Lugia V-Star. So also hopefully I didn't mess up the draft. There were a few, so the way it worked, there were 4 hour like time slots to pick. If you missed, the potential for someone to pass you. That happened only a few times, and I don't think messed with things too much. But yeah, and then there was also, let's see, Water Energy taken by Mr. No. Oh, Martian. Sorry, I thought it was Mr. Martin. Mr. Martian. In like the last turn, and I took Fighting Energy. I don't think Fighting Energy is super good, but if a deck playing Fighting Energy wins, then this is insane. Especially if a deck like, say, I don't know. I'm trying to think of. There aren't really fighting decks, but Fighting Energy is played in some decks, and you never know. Something might like come out of nowhere. So I figured I'd take it. I could have taken Metal Energy as well. I think that was still on the board. But yeah, honestly, I think Darkness Energy is a bit of a steal. Looking at things, I think Prime Catcher, and then someone took, I think, Radiant Greninja. Someone took Radiant Charizard. Radiant Charizard is, I think, a solid pick. Like for this, this is the sixth round, and someone took Radiant Greninja earlier, though I believe. Yeah, someone took it in the third round. I feel like that's early, not like super early, but a little early. Radiant Greninja doesn't see that much play. Honestly, right now, Radiant Charizard might see as much play as Radiant Greninja. Of course, it's in Charizard DX, and then it's also in Regidrago V-Star. You could play Radiant Greninja in Regidrago. I don't know if it's usually. I think Radiant Charizard's usually played, but I also find it has consistency issues and also does not mind getting energy in the discard and has a bunch of it. But yeah, I definitely feel like Prime Catcher is really high. Obviously, it's an ace spec. You can't play more than one copy of it, and you want multiple copies. I don't think there are too many crazy picks like that like really threw me off. There's Bersky here getting Regigo V and V Star. A lot of the picks feel pretty like I guess I describe them as safe. They're trainers or stable Pokemon. Uncommon Fossil got the Charmander. This is I think the Charmander that's going to be played. There were some other pre-evolutions. There was Curlier, but that's played for what it does on its own as well. And then I think someone took a Duskull. Yeah, if your Pokemon card took a Duskull, potentially people could play the other Duskull though. And then someone took. Let's see. I think that's about it for pre-evolutions. So stuff like Charizard EX got picked and Pidgeot EX. If you want to take like the Pidgey, that's kind of sketchy. I don't think anyone took that because Pidgey, there are different Pidgey that could see play. You could just completely miss on that. Some of the late cards that are pretty good, like in this last round. I mean, I don't think any of them are like bad. Honestly, Fighting Energy is kind of sketchy, but my pick here. But so I guess I should talk about my picks. I got Fighting and Fire Energy. Then I got Super Rod and Night Stretcher, were both recovery cards. I almost took Superior Energy Retrieval as well. I think instead of this spot, but no, maybe here. I don't remember. I was considering taking it. I didn't. I didn't want three recovery cards, but then we have two Pokemon, Dragapult EX and Iron Hands EX. They're both 1 to 2s in a few different decks. Dragapult EX, of course, in the Dragapult EX deck, but it's also in Regidrago V-Star. That is a solid deck. If it ends up winning, Rizbersky is going to be taking this thing home. I'm pretty sure. But then yeah, or I mean maybe not if it wins, but then Dragapult like is in the top 8 or something. I think that's really good for me. Iron Hands EX as well is pretty solid, like solid. It's played in Lost Zone as like Lost Zone's not super popular, but the Lugia as well. That's probably more popular than Lost Zone right now. And it's played in Sheer Pep Excalibur as well. Could be teched into other things. You could even put it in like a deck like Charizard, or you could even play it in Reasonable Ogerpon. I don't think I've seen that, but that is possible. And you could even play it in I know you can put it in lots of different decks, but of course Miraidon and Future Box decks it's like really important to those decks. It's probably a 2 of a Miraidon, though you could see it even, it could be a 1 of, but it's probably a 2 of, could even be a 3 of. That's unlikely 2 probably, but then in the Iron Hands, or not the Iron, well, yeah, I guess it's the Iron Hands deck. There's only 3 copies, but that's still really solid. Bravery Charm is, I think, a really good pick. I like Control. It's really big for the late, or really good for the late round. I like it. Control could be good. Then Gardevoir plays it. I honestly think Bravery Charm is a steal. Might even be better than a card like Night Stretcher. Might not be. I'd say it probably isn't, but I think it's pretty good. But I got Super Rod and Night Stretcher, so I got all the recovery. I'm really excited to see how this shakes out, and I think it's fun. There are definitely some changes I want to make going forward. I'm going to make, I think, another draft there might have been. I'm recording this in different parts and in different orders, so I might have talked about that already. I might talk about it later, but I definitely plan on doing another draft, probably a few to improve it, so it's something that different people can enjoy. But yeah. Oh, and then the top cards, the top three are all like the ball search cards: Buddy Buddy Puff and Ultra Ball Nest Ball. And I don't know, Arvin, really solid picks, and could be like insane. And Darkness Edge, it could be insane. It probably won't be. I don't expect it to do super well. I mean, I expect it to be, I guess, like a two of Encourage War. I feel like that seems pretty normal. And then we have a lot of the support Pokemon like Lumineon V, Mew EX, Rotom V, the two prize single copy Pokemon. Sprockbilly EX could be a two of index, probably not more than that, and obviously not in every deck. But then you see stuff like Barrel, I mentioned Curlia, that's probably just in Gardevoir, and I guess stuff like Arcaps too. But I'm excited to see how this is going to go. I think looking at these, I'm trying to like look at like good late picks. I think Squawkbilly EX is really good, or is a really solid pick here. And I think, oh, and Common Fossil took Ralts. I don't remember if I said that. That's interesting. There are other Ralts that could be played though. Charmander, it seems like a strong late pick by Uncommon Fossil. You doesn't like a pick that wasn't really on my board. I had like a list. I didn't necessarily exclusively stick to that, but I had a list, and Yurida seems bold. Same thing with Colossus Tenacity. That seems like a card that I just don't think sees that much play, though it does see some play. I guess you're taking that if you're thinking like Iron Thorns EX or just like Special Energy in general. It's an interesting card with some solid value, and it could be really good in certain decks. And I think Lightning Energy is like a really solid pick. The no, Psychic Energy is also really good. I think Psychic. No, this is in the second. Lightning in the third. This are pretty close. So I think Psychic's almost a steal. I could have actually taken Fire Energy, Psychic Energy, which could have been good, but I'm not sure. That actually might have been good. We'll see. But I'm excited to see how this thing shakes out. So the draft is now over, and I did not win. We can see the final scores: Sam Bam 111, winning by 1 point over Luca, 1, 2, 3, 7, 9 here. And you can see the rest of the scores. I came near the bottom with 125. But taking a look at, by the way, this chart was made by ArcV2, and this is cool. It's the data here, but like put into a different format that's visual. Also, when I click it, it looks like it moves right. Anyways, so this is pretty interesting. A lot of people got good first round picks. Those are at the bottom. Then second round picks were also solid. And then there were a lot of picks that, like Mr. Martian's first and second round picks were not very good, which are by Puff and Rare Candy, played in stuff like Charizard DX and Index similar to Charizard DX. I guess let's look at the metagame. If you don't know, I was looking at the top 16, by the way, and it's weighted, as I said at the beginning of the video, towards the best cards. So Iron Thorns EX here, I'm getting a good chunk of points. We'll take a look at cards that didn't do well, but I'll just go over Sambam 111's picks and then Luca's picks as well. I feel like both of them, they both did super well. Uncommon Fossil, Mr. Martian, Potato, TCG, and even Arcree 2 all got over 200, and then lower scores down here. I will say, I don't remember if I said this, there was a slight disadvantage to going later, although I don't think that is why I and Nerfing Pokemon card did worse. I think we just made picks that weren't high scoring picks. My picks, I didn't have really terrible picks, but I didn't have these big, like 100-point picks. So Sambam 111 did not have 100-point picks either, but they had Iono, Arvin, and Darkness Energy. Darkness Energy was really big here. And then there weren't any like bad picks. I think Barrel's not the strongest pick. That was relatively weak, but the other ones were all pretty solid. I'm Guillotine V-Star in the late rounds aren't. That's not like perfect, but compared to, I think it might be the best last round pick. Yeah, looks like it is. Mr. Martian got Water Energy, which is okay. It was only played by I think like one person, but the Champ Hapbax Caliber player with basic energies. And then I guess like Fighting Energy is like okay by me. Not like a bad, like terrible pick in the late round, but obviously not something that's winning. And as we'll take a look at, there are a number of cards that were pretty high up that were not picked. So then we also had, let's see, they had Arvin. Rating Grinja was not like a bad pick. It wasn't a great pick for the round, but not bad either. I definitely thought it was a kind of sketchy pick. Same thing with Prime Catcher. I thought that was like a super sketchy pick in the early rounds, but it ended up it was not a bad pick. Not like the strongest pick, but not a bad pick either. And then we also saw, the metagame was very focused on basic Pokemon, and then just not stage twos, right? So, or single prizes. Either the highest single prize slash stage two deck would be, well, okay, I guess Lugia Archeops. Archeops is a stage two single prizer, but that's different. But then the highest would be Charizard Pidgeot, and we saw someone playing Gardevoir as well. So those were the only two. I guess Champ Excalibur as well fits within that realm. And Lugia Archeops kind of fits there, but it's a little different. But things like Buddy Buddy Poffin and well, we'll just take a look at the picks in just a moment. But then yeah, then Luca got Grass Energy and Earthen Vessel. These were both huge. Earthen Vessel was good in a bunch of decks, and it was just a solid pick for in a lot of decks. Grass Energy obviously really good in Regidrago, V-Star, and Regional Ogerpon. So the top decks 4 through 8 were all decks playing Grass Energy. So that was a huge card. Tequilmas Ogerpon EX is worth almost exactly half of it. That's definitely a pick where Tequilmas Ogerpon is not a bad pick, but Grass Energy is just quite a bit stronger than that because it gets you because they're actually playing more than 4 of it, right? They're playing 8 or so. So yeah, and then there are weaker picks near the end, but there were these two massive picks and other like solid picks as well. And then you look at like my picks here. I'll still talk about some. I know Fire Energy, did not end up showing up that much. I got points because of Regidrago, but obviously not a great pick there. Super Rod and Night Stretcher were okay, but the top deck didn't play any recovery. Did the second deck play any recovery? It played one Night Stretcher. That's not much. And then we saw Iron Thorns EX playing no Pokemon, no recovery of any kind. So yeah, that did not that wasn't so good for me. But yeah, I definitely think it was interesting and surprising as well. The results in pretty cool. I know some people aren't big fans of big basic decks, but I think they can be fun, especially when they're not super important in the metagame. So I've talked about the World Championship some, though it wasn't on the podcast, or maybe it haven't yet. It might be coming out later. But then the card scores, the highest scoring card with just under 200 points was Lightning Energy, which was played in the top deck, but also in Miraidon, which made I finished third and fourth are the same, but that's still a bunch of points. And there's a good chunk of copies in that. And then there's another Miraidon here in 15th place. And oh, I meant to said this deck. This Lugia deck is not included. And then Ultra Ball, Nest Ball, Boss's Orders, which by the way were picked, I believe second, third, fourth, which is pretty crazy. Earthen Vessel finishing fifth, and Research sixth. Research at sixth is pretty surprising to me. I mean, I know it's a good supporter, but I was not projecting it to be that high, of course, because it's better with Big Basic and as well as essentially Stage 1 equivalent decks, which are like V-Star, Regidrago V-Star. It's good in Regidrago V-Star. So yeah, it's good there. Not as good in Stage 2 decks. Then the most surprising card is Pokemon Catcher at 7. By the way, I believe this card was the only card to be played as a 4 of in back-to-back in these past 2 World Championships. So if we look at the World Championship 2023, the winning deck was Mew VMAX. The list looked like this. Of course, a lot of the cards rotated, but we do see 5 boss orders between the two. But we see, okay, sorry, this list plays 3 double turbos and then 4 here, so it's that's close. But then the big thing is that the Pokemon search, there's no Battle VIP pass. Obviously, it rotated. It's just not in the game. There is no Ultra Ball or Nest Ball either. There's only Techno Radar, so it's pretty interesting. We see for Pokemon Catcher in both the top lists. Do we see it, or am I just imagining things? I think I'm just imagining things. Okay, Pokemon Catcher is not here. Never mind. I don't know why I thought Pokemon Catcher was here, but it is played. It is very good here. So I don't know what I was thinking there. I think I was probably getting it confused with Cramomatic. Never mind. They both play coin flip cards though. They're coin flip cards, so that's pretty interesting. Coin flips are good. That's I guess what I was saying. I was this video is not scripted, but I was thinking about it some before, and I just was thinking about coin flip cards. They are good, which is interesting. You need some amount of luck as well to win a tournament generally, especially if everyone's very good. So you need something that gives you the chance to push you over the edge, and that's why coin flip cards can be very good at the highest level of play, assuming everyone's at a similar skill level, which generally they are. I don't think the first place person was like drastically better than everyone else. Fernando, obviously good. Everyone here is good, but you need some way to get ahead, and you are always going to need some luck. And so Iron Thorns EX has that luck with the coin flip cards, right? So then you do need some you should not just put yourself in a situation where you can get lucky, but you actually need to get a little bit lucky. But also, it's a pretty straightforward deck. So, while there is luck in the coin flips, there's less luck in the draws because it doesn't like you have lots of four of. So, in terms of luck, it is luck based and when just coin flips, but the other things aren't as luck based. So it's not even like super crazy. You don't want to be playing like lots of one of coin flip cards. That's not going to end well, most likely. So, but yeah, I just wanted to. I think some people were a little confused why coin flip cards are so good at times, but then they can also be really bad, right? So the like people near the bottom, this is day two. It's not like these players are bad or anything, but this person played four crushing hammer as well, and so they probably might have flipped tails and not done so well. They also played dangerous laser, which was interesting to say the least. But yeah, then the other top picks are pretty much what you'd expect. But let's take a look at we have some more data here, and the highest cards, the most valuable cards that were not picked, Pokemon Catcher, as I said, then Judge, Iron Thorns EX, of course, getting a lot of points, and then Crushing Hammer, Future Booster Energy Capsule, Lost City, Canceling Cologne, Trekking Shoes, Dark Patch, Roaring Moon EX, Techno Radar, Electric Generator. So Electric Generator is played in like Lightning and stuff, in specifically Miraidon, but then the other decks are, I mean, they're all big basic cards. They're either Pokemon that are big basics or cards that support big basic Pokemon and specific decks as well. Like Canceling Clone is really interesting in Iron Thorns in a lot of decks because it allows you to counter some cool things, including Iron Thorns. So Canceling Clone is a really good card, and Pokemon Catcher. As I said, it's oh, sorry. What I meant to say was it was a four of in the second place deck. I don't know. Sorry, I'm tired at the time of recording this, but it's a Pokemon. It's like four of in both the top two decks. So yeah, that's only four of in the top two decks, which means it's the best card in the game. Not necessarily, but it is very, very good. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. The worst picks. The worst pick was Snorlax taken early. I definitely thought Snorlax would. I mean, it did see some play. I was a little sketched out about it because of like the tournament structure. That did not see play at all, and was taken relatively high. So yeah, and then Manaphy obviously, a lot of people are expecting that to see play. I definitely thought that was going to see play. It saw one person played one copy of it. I mean, the Charizard list plays Rapska. It doesn't even play Manaphy, which is pretty crazy. Gardevoir here is what is it playing Manaphy? No, yes, it is. But then I guess that means that Chimpanzee Excalibur is not playing Manaphy. So I guess it's not like super necessary, but it is nice to have. But there is no Manaphy here, which could have actually cost people games as well because Kyurem was unsurprisingly played in Regidraco V-Star, and that would kind of potentially mess you up if you don't have Manaphy. That's another card where not including Manaphy is a risk. That's the gamble people are trying to take here. It didn't pay off for the people who didn't play Manaphy, or the people who did play Manaphy apparently, because if you're playing Manaphy, it can cause issues. If you're not, it could cause issues. So yeah. Then we saw the best picks though. Let's focus on these. These are really interesting and insane. And by the way, I'm doing it value. This is the position that it was drafted in minus, or no, was it? Sorry, yeah, the position it was drafted in minus the position that it actually ended up being. So the like best pick based on this metric is by ArcV2 here with closest tenacity. Of course, this is how many copies was it? It was a 2 of in the winning deck, and it was played in the 18th place deck. So it was only played in the winning deck, but it got 32 points, 2 copies in the winning deck, tons of points for getting something in the winning deck. So just really solid pick. And this was picked at pick 52, which is quite late. Then Darkness Energy, Professor Saw's Vitality by Samvan 111, who did end up winning the thing, and this is a big part of why taking these cards that are solid in later rounds. And then Lightning Energy, really big, of course, in the winning deck, and the highest card overall, so unsurprisingly, just super good. Arguably the best pick, you could say, because its points are just so much. Then Squawkability EX, Mew EX, and Professor's Research and Energy Switch, like Giratina V-Star. So you can see the best picks. And so I just thought this was interesting. I'm going to be running something like this again in the future. I think I need to figure some stuff out. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video and consider liking and subscribing as well. And joining the channel, join the Discord though, especially because the Discord server is where I'm going to be running this. I'll probably do some info about it on YouTube, but I will be running it through Discord, and I will make it so that I plan on making it so that I will be doing it live streaming it, but I will also allow you to join in if you can't be there live, where you can submit a list of cards, but there will be more info about that soon. But I hope you enjoyed, and as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.